Hi, I'm Dr. Nixon with Healing Peak Regenerative Medicine, and today I want to talk to you about 5 anti-inflammatory foods that you can include daily in your diet or regimen to help decrease pain and inflammation. Anti-inflammatory foods typically mean, in my context, I'm looking for them to reduce pain for my patients, but when things are anti-inflammatory, they typically have an overall health promoting effect on the body. And so the first one I want to talk about today is fish. If you eat, cold water, wild caught fish like salmon or black cod, lingcod, cold water fish, that pickled herring, as long as it's a really high quality wild caught, from Alaska, you really want to know where your fish is coming from. And in that case, it is very anti-inflammatory. And so if you can include fish in your diet regularly, that will help decrease pain and inflammation in the joints. It also has really great effects on cardiovascular system and heart as well. And the next food that I wanted to bring to your attention is broccoli. Broccoli has a component in it that decreases inflammatory cytokines, and those inflammatory cytokines can worsen arthritis. So over time, by eating a lot of broccoli, you're decreasing these inflammatory cytokines that can be worsening arthritis. So broccoli is a pretty ubiquitous vegetable. It kind of gets, I don't want to say overlooked, but people eat it because they know it's healthy, but they don't really know why. So I just wanted to encourage continuing to eat broccoli and also knowing why you're eating it, right? Because it does actually have some really amazing properties, and it's inexpensive and easy to include in your diet regularly. And the third one I want to bring to your attention is ginger. Ginger can be consumed both fresh or dried. If it's dried, you're going to want to get a high quality ginger. Not all spices are created equally. Ginger also has really anti-inflammatory effects for osteoarthritis, which is a very high common pain contributor for people. And even if you have arthritis but don't have pain, if you trauma an area where arthritis is present and didn't have pain before, it can initiate that pain response to start happening. And so, if you're including things in your diet to help mitigate arthritic, the formation of arthritis, then that can help you later. If you have an injury to that area and it starts bothering you, it may be less likely to bother you if you're including some anti-inflammatory foods regularly in your diet. So ginger can be consumed as a tea, or you can put it in your food, or you can add it to something called golden milk, which is something that I'm going to talk about next. And so that brings me to my fourth food, which is turmeric. Turmeric, I'm sure you've heard of before. It's a really anti-inflammatory food. You definitely want to be getting a high quality source of turmeric. You want it to be organic. Often turmeric can get into the United States and have heavy metal contamination in it. I believe it was a couple years ago, a lot of supplements were pulled off the shelves because those supplement companies did not third-party test their turmeric, and then what they found is that it had a lot of lead in it and people were getting sick. Lead and mercury as well. So the people selling it were adding these heavy metals to it to make it heavier so they would get paid more, but it wasn't actually turmeric. And so that's kind of scary, right? So source your turmeric correctly. And the way that you can get a lot of turmeric at once in your diet, food as medicine, is by making curries. And turmeric gets absorbed. It's more bioavailable, meaning it gets more well digested or more absorbed in your digestive tract when it's attached to a fat. So anytime you consume turmeric, you want to use coconut oil or coconut milk, some kind of fatty substance to mix it in so that your body actually can utilize the turmeric in the way that it should. Otherwise, it just by itself, without those fatty components attached to it, it's not as bioavailable for you. And that's why golden milk has become such a trend, because it's the way that golden milk is formulated uses fats to bind to the turmeric so that you can use it. And then the last food that I wanted to, or actually it's not a food, it's a drink, that I wanted to talk about today is green tea. Green tea has 1,000,001 different amazing antioxidant uses. And if you are not drinking green tea already, I highly encourage you to drink green tea. It can be good for your teeth, the enamel in your teeth, the microbiome in your mouth. It is excellent for anxiety. It can be very good for joint health and mitigating the arthritic pain. It can help with cardiovascular effects. It's amazing. Green tea is incredible. A really great way to get a lot of green tea into your daily regimen is adding matcha to your smoothie. It's a powdered type of green tea using all the parts. So the active components of green tea are highly concentrated in matcha. And you can drink it, certainly. There are ways to do that. But you can also just put it directly in your smoothie and drink it that way. And it may be a little more palatable for you that way as well. Green tea can be highly contaminated. Again, so please, if every single food that I mentioned today in this video, please be aware of quality assurance and where it's coming from, and that it's organic or sourced sustainably and well, and that you know where it's coming from. Especially, with fish, you can either look at the store that it says wild, or there are a lot of people out there now that are forming these kind of co-op online things where you can buy like 100 pounds of fish if you have the freezer space, or you can buy, a bunch of free-range chicken with a bunch of other people, or you can split a cow that's been grass-fed and grass-finished, and so I may actually do a video in the following weeks talking about sourcing protein and giving you guys some resources on that, but I don't want to cover that today. So the 5 anti-inflammatory foods to reduce pain that are easy to include in your daily regimen or diet are fish, wild-caught fish, broccoli, turmeric, ginger, and green tea. All right, guys, have a great day.